Time for Around the Ozarks news, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
And good morning on Tuesday. Glad you made it with us. Thanks for being here this morning. We'll start with some news. 3 people are under arrest accused of stealing a car. Greene County deputies arrested 2 juveniles and 1 adult at an apartment complex where they found that stolen car. That followed several calls early in the morning hours that police believe the 3 of those 3 people were involved in. One of the calls, I should say, was for shots fired. Another was for a stolen vehicle. So lots to sort out. We'll see all the charges as they come out.
Yep. Vice President Kamala Harris received endorsements from some very prominent Democrats, of course, mainly President Joe Biden, also Nancy Pelosi and some others. She posted on social media saying, quote, "It's the first full day of our campaign, so I'm heading up to Wilmington, Delaware later to say hello to our staff in headquarters. 1 day down, 105 to go. Together, we're going to win this." Again, that from the Vice President Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, Biden says he is planning to hit up battleground states to campaign very aggressively for her as soon as his COVID doctor gives him clearance to do so. Well, with all the campaign news, only 2 more weeks until the August primary here in Missouri. Can you believe 14 days away? That's really crazy. So in this election, we will be choosing the Republican and Democratic nominee for governor, lieutenant governor, and secretary of state. Plus, several counties will be voting on a sheriff, which for Greene County is contested this time. All of that coming up on Tuesday, August 6th.
And today is the first day that no excuse in-person absentee voting starts for the August 6th primary in the state of Missouri. Voters in Greene County can do that at the Election Center on North Booneville Monday through Friday, starting today, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Another option for doing that in person is the Library Center on South Campbell, slightly different hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, and then Saturday from 9 to 1. You will have to show ID if you're going to go do the early voting thing.
Yeah. Lots of election news, huh?
Well, I watched I watched some of that questioning of the Secret Service chief about the assassination attempt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was...
The more you learn, the crazier it gets, isn't it?
No, I didn't learn anything. She didn't say anything the entire time.
No, I mean, the more you learn about like the sites, they had their sights on the kid before.
No.
She
didn't say any of that.
Oh.
We know all of this from media reports.
Well, yes, right.
But she didn't say anything. She wouldn't answer anything. I mean, she answered, but she would say, well, there's an investigation underway, and she didn't know anything. She didn't know anything, any specifics. She couldn't answer. It was and she was being, it got both sides, and doesn't happen very often, but both sides, bipartisan, were so annoyed and frustrated with her not answering any questions. It was also almost like a former president hadn't just been shot. Yeah. She hadn't been to the site to visit it. So many things that she couldn't answer were unbelievable to me, that she knew she was going to go before Congress to answer questions that the American public once answered about how we let a president get shot.
Yeah, regardless of what side you're on, which is interesting.
Well, of course, it's an American former president who could be president again. Who knows? He's one of 2 people who could. It was mind-boggling to me how it was as if she wasn't even fazed by it. She didn't understand the magnitude of it, and she felt like she didn't have to answer for it. And she said, "Oh, we should start to get some answers in 60 days." 60 days? The election is 100 days away. You know what I mean? 60 days. We got to protect President 3 now with RFK. three presidential candidates we have to protect, and our enemies are seeing this, and we look like the Keystone Cops. It angered me watching it because she seemed to think, I don't have any accountability, and what are you going to do to me? And to this point, nothing's been done to her in her defense, I suppose. Sorry.
All right.
I'm on a soapbox, but I was angry. She should be fired. First of all, she should have the guts to resign.
Right. She shouldn't have to be fired. Right.
The last time this happened in 1981, when President Reagan was shot, very quickly, the Secret Service chief, the head, quit. He resigned because he dropped the ball. He's in charge. She said numerous times that the buck stops with her. So out of respect for the office and what happened, she should resign. Clearly, she's not going to do that, so she should be fired.
That's
all right.
Wild.
I'm done. I got that off my chest.
Do you feel lighter?
No, I'm angrier.
You look skinnier. So.
No, that's good. I'm sucking in. All right, move on. Is it me again?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to read another story after that?
Yeah, dude. This is you. It's your turn. Well, if it were me, I'd jump right on it, but it's not.
The good news is I know the good people of the Ozarks are with me on this. This is unacceptable to not answer questions about what happened 9 days ago. It's been 9 days, and she doesn't have any answers about anything. Okay. In other news.
Good segue, babe. I like it.
Thank you. I thought it worked. We told you about the Ozark versus Nixa Blood Drive Challenge. It's happening today. Today's the day, and that's in good fun. It's a competition between the two towns, rival towns. But in all seriousness, just yesterday, the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks came out publicly with a desperate need, saying they are in big need of blood donations as we speak. Right now, they are the provider of blood to 45 hospitals across the Ozarks, and they are in an emergency situation with barely 1 day's supply of blood to go around. So they need to collect 220 donations per day to catch up and have an adequate supply. That's a lot of folks. So hopefully
that's a lot of, yes.
Ozark Nixa thing will get people out. It's a lot of arms to stick, but needs to be done. You can call and schedule a quick appointment to give. The Community Blood Center of the Ozarks needs your help, needs our help. Also,
just to recap, if you missed it yesterday morning, Nixa's blood drive is today from 10 to 4 at 235 West Tracker Road. That is the North Point Church. So if you know where North Point Church is. And then in Ozark, it's at the CCAD building, which is at 320 North 20th Street. Both of those from 10 to 4.
Okay.
There you go. Otherwise, go to Springfield on South Campbell to the CBCO, and they will gladly take your blood. All right. Governor Parsons signed the state budget a couple weeks ago, and a line item that was struck down is $1 million going for a big fence at the West Plains Airport, a perimeter fence. They wanted it to keep wildlife off the runway. Apparently about 130 aircraft take off and land there each month, and sometimes wildlife is in the way. Over the last 6 years, in fact, leaders say that they've had 5 or 6 animals hit by an airplane, which could be bad for humans as well. And fortunately, there's not been any human injuries. There have been some airplane injuries, some expensive ones. But again, that was struck down from the budget. So now it's back to the drawing board. I guess that's part of the territory, huh? In West Plains, that would make sense that they have an issue with wildlife on the runway. Yep. All right. Well, time is short before school starts back. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's coming. With that, Springfield Public Schools is gearing up for their annual Back to School Bash. It is happening this Saturday, July 27th at the Springfield Expo Center. It's from 9:30 until 2 p.m. The bash is open to all SPS students and families. Honestly, it is so much fun. Convoy of Hope helped sponsor it a couple years ago, so I went there for that, and it was a lot of fun. It was truly a good time. They have free backpacks, hygiene kits, groceries, school supplies, sports physicals, and much more.
I guess it's that time. It feels so early to me to be thinking about back to school, but man,
I had to
here.
watch what I was saying out loud today in front of the kids because I'm so dreading school starting back. But I don't want to be negative about it because I don't want them to dread it. But I'm like, no, it just feels like it's way too soon.
Yeah.
I
Summer
don't
just
feel like I've
started.
had an adequate break. And now it's like, oh, Lord, help us.
Yeah, it feels like summer just started. I have not been to the pool nearly enough.
Yeah.
Not to the pool I want to go to. I've been to the lap pool quite a bit. That's not the pool I'm interested in. It's all coming up roses for the Kelsey boys. They're still enjoying their 15 minutes. General Mills has created a cereal that combines the brothers' three favorite kinds of cereals. So this is a box of cereal that has in it Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, and Reese's Puffs. So I guess they're all mixed together.
Yeah, that
General
sounds
Mills,
terrible. Even though I like those separately, I don't know how this is going to go down.
I think the peanut butter part of that would really throw the whole thing off.
Me too.
Yeah. General Mills got word of the Kelseys talking about their favorite cereals on the podcast, and it just so happened that they all happen to be General Mills branded cereals. So
they're going to capitalize on that. Who could blame them?
The marketing folks over at General Mills said, "Hey, I got an idea."
Well, they should have figured out a way to make it. I think it would be okay with the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and the Reese's Puffs, like cinnamon and peanut butter, or Lucky Charms and cinnamon toast.
Let me say this. I'm assuming that they're all together. It may be three individual bags of each in a box. So that could be it. I was assuming that they mixed them all together, but that would be very little.
You're right.
If you divide a box of cereal into thirds, that's very little cereal in each one, right?
I think you're right. I think it's 3 individual bags in a big box. And it's probably going to be called like the Kelsey Brothers.
Yeah.
Because to mix all 3, in my mind, all 3 of those types of cereal, like flavors, were mixed together. And I was like,
well, that's what I was thinking too. But the flavors don't seem to work out very much.
I don't think so. You could do 2 of those 3 and maybe get by with it, but not all 3, I'm pretty sure.
All 3, I don't think would work. But anyway, that's what General Mills is doing. The marketing folks over there said, "Hey, let's do it. I got an idea."
That is too
And the
funny.
Kelsey said, "Yeah, we'll take the money. Sure."
Because they're not idiots. So there you go. Okay, well, that's it, folks. Thanks so much for joining us. And anything else, Mr. Foreheads?
No, I think that'll do it. I'm still
you off the soapbox, or do you need help?
I'm still all flustered about it. Well, one of the things she said, she kept drawing the distinction between, well, he was suspicious. He was labeled suspicious. He wasn't a threat. So now, okay, I'm thinking, and she said there are suspicious people all the time, which, yes, at a rally, you're going to have suspicious people all the time. But what happens when somebody's suspicious? You put eyes on them, and then you watch for the moment they go from suspicious to threatening, and that's when you arrest them, shoot them if you need to, whatever needs to happen. Or at the very least, you get the president off the stage, or don't let him go out there.
Right.
This guy was suspicious half an hour before president took the stage. They're watching him with a rangefinder. Nobody follows him up the roof to see him have a gun, except the crowd. They all saw it. It just is mind-boggling. And she was saying, well, he wasn't threatening. He was suspicious.
There was also some poll that said a fairly high percentage. I don't want to quote the number because I don't want to say it wrong. A fairly high percentage of people who didn't actually believe it. Like they thought it was somehow like staged or like purposeful, like calculate. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. So this sounds like a really good idea. We're gonna shoot a bullet at you,
right,
in the head.
Well, that makes
sure that you turn your head just at the right angle at just the right time when this bullet is headed toward your brain, or else you're gonna die. Oh, and probably I'm going to die in the process because somebody's going to see me shoot and they're going to shoot me. Oh, and there's also people standing behind you. Like, what in the world?
Yeah. Well,
It was actually educated. It was like a legitimate poll. And I'm like, what?
well, that's insane.
That's actually insane.
But what's
That's
happening?
actually insane.
What's
Do you
happening?
understand that that's actually crazy? Like,
What's happening now? Because she is not answering any questions about what happened. It allows the theories to run wild. What are they covering up? Blah blah blah. And there are lots of theories about what could have happened. I mean, to me, there's a couple of options. Either it was the biggest. Well, anyway, I can't imagine.
Don't even. I know it's not worth it.
I can't imagine.
Everybody knows what the options could be.
I can't imagine it being so many people dropping the ball for a building that's 130 yards away, 150 yards away. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I'm done.
And that's a wrap, everybody. That's a wrap. So if you're still with us, thanks for tuning in. Ponderings of Ethan Forhet's in the morning. There you go.
If you watched it yesterday with me, you understand, because all of the Republicans and Democrats toward the end, they were all like, you need to resign or be fired, because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said 60 days. That's unacceptable. And
wow. AOC. Look at
AOC
her.
Sounded like, I mean, everybody was on the same side saying, lady, what do you think? This is a president.
Yeah.
Maddening.
Good for her, though.
All right. I got to stop. Starting my day with high blood pressure.
Hey, stay right where you are. I'll help you jump down so you don't break a leg on the way. Okay.
Off the ledge.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Or soapbox.
The soapbox.
Yeah. Okay.
But the ledge might be more appropriate.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday. Thanks for waking up with Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. I'm meteorologist Abby Dyer. We are talking about another nice start for sure, with temperatures in the mid 60s this morning as we're waking up. A little bit warmer this afternoon. I have a high temperature heading for the middle 80s, but overall, it's going to be a pretty nice day in the Ozarks with about a 20% chance for some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll dive right in this morning by talking about the potential for more patchy fog. Much like yesterday morning, this is not going to be this thick blanket that's out there for everybody, but the fog, patchy in nature. Visibility could be below a half mile at times, so slow it down on the morning drive if you run into some of that. And remember that low beams help with the foggy conditions. Today, we are talking about a small opportunity for some showers and non-severe thunderstorms. I think they'll be very isolated in nature later today. And the best chance is going to be from about 2 p.m. to about 6 p.m. And then I think the radar really settles down. We are still seeing this active pattern in the upper levels of the atmosphere that's allowing for this cooler than average pattern to still have a hold on the Ozarks, which is nice for us. High temps today, though, maybe a degree or two warmer than they were yesterday, with highs making their way to about 85 degrees. Another headline in our forecast, of course, is the opportunity for additional rain. I'm not overly concerned with flooding, even though the ground is super saturated, because there's going to be plenty of dry time to enjoy today. This is not going to be one of those rains where it just starts and rains all day. In fact, I have nearly a daily rain chance in this forecast all work week long, but there will also be these extended periods of dry time where you can enjoy the dry conditions and the cooler temperatures until the heat starts to build back in and return, and that will likely happen late in the work week. We could see 90s back in the forecast, and it'll feel like summertime again by the weekend. Temperatures are going to be warming in response to a big ridge of high pressure that will settle in and take hold of the Ozarks. So the forecast today looks pretty nice. I have 85 degrees for the high temperature in Springfield. There is about a 20% chance for some rain showers later today. Overnight tonight, we're going to fall back into the middle 60s once again. I do have a mainly dry day in the forecast for us tomorrow with highs near 90, upper 80s if we don't quite get to that 90-degree point on Wednesday. I think most of us are probably there by the time we get to Thursday. The chance for some isolated rain goes up, though, a bit by Thursday and Friday. I'm talking about a 30% chance for some scattered activity, not washout days, but some days where we'll be dodging some rain and thunderstorm activity on the radar through the course of the afternoon. What's making headlines in the country today? It's this major extreme heat wave happening from the Great Basin all the way into portions of the northern high plains. Also, portions of Central Valley in California are getting in on the extreme heat. We are talking dangerous heat with heat headlines in place for the western portion of the country. The Great Lakes to New England, they get another round of rain and storms today as a frontal boundary has developed. And of course, the Southeast will see some rain and storms today with that front that's been sitting there for a couple of days, going stationary, and it's going to hang out and provide another opportunity for rain for our friends to the south and east. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question. I know everybody's dying to know the answer to this one. Quite a strange question that I had yesterday. Which of the following is a real name for a lake in South Carolina? Do you think it is A, Divorce Lake, B, Alcohol and Drug Abuse Lake, C, Body Dump Lake, or D, Cheating Wife Lake? None of those are great names for a lake, I wouldn't think. Can't be too popular. But the correct answer, if you listened yesterday, we had Joseph on and he actually eliminated the correct answer first. B, it's Alcohol and Drug Abuse Lake. Yes, very specific. A real name of a lake on the published list from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. It was actually a reservoir that is in Richland County, South Carolina. It is renamed now. In 2022, they said, all right, this is a little ridiculous. We are going to rename it. But before 2022, its owner was actually the South Carolina Department of Mental Health. It used the name The Pond at Morris Village or Morris Village Pond all the time. That's because there was actually a treatment center, a drug and alcohol addiction treatment center nearby. So this was a lake that was near that facility for people that were there for substance dependence issues. So that's how the name originated. They have renamed it now just to be called Village Lake, which is a lot more pleasant. But that's how it got the very specific Alcohol and Drug Abuse Lake. It was official in the state of South Carolina. It is now renamed to Village Lake. But if you guessed B, you are correct. We do not have any of these lakes that I know of in the Ozarks. Let's keep it that way. All right, here's the question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. Twisters making headlines. I have not been to see it yet, unbelievably. But here's a quote related to the original Twister movie. This is today's Brain Twister trivia question. What quote from Star Wars was used in the original Twister? Do you think it is A, I have a bad feeling about this, B, stay on target, C, that's no moon, it's a space station, or D, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are my only hope? Which one of those quotes used in the original Twister movie is actually a quote from Star Wars? Do you know? Have you seen the new one? I cannot wait to, because the original is so good. But you can take your guess. So it's over at aroundtheozarks.com. You can enter your guess there, and all correct guesses are entered into a pool to win $20 to Scooters Coffee. So why not start your day off with nice cup of Scooters. Thanks so much to Scooters and to Rescue Towing for sponsoring Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. I'm meteorologist Abby Dyer. I'll catch you all back here early tomorrow.